Neighbors are saying way too loud.
That's only in the morning. You supposed to be up cooking breakfast or something by then, so that's like an alarm clock. Woo, woo!
Bub, Rub, and Little Sis were proud to show it off. Some Oakland residents will complain about the noisemakers Tuesday night at the city council meeting.
Hello, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we're talking about making GIL in Final Fantasy XIV. Now this is patch 5.3. Each patch I'll put out like a new tip. But generally there's 3 ways to make GIL. And you know, you gotta, like I said, you gotta find your purpose in making GIL. If it's for buying gear, if it's for you know, just getting stuff for a house, stuff like that. You gotta look for the most efficient ways that can work with making GIL. And one of the most efficient ways I found was, of course, crafting. But the 3 ways you can do it is through the daily roulette, crafting, gathering, selling those items, and lastly, kind of doing high-end raid content. So if you want to sell your services, you're really good at doing the high-tier savages and all that stuff, then yeah, like you can sell your services and people will pay for you to carry them through. Now, that's like if you're really, really good. But the other 2 methods I'll go into detail about, kind of break it down, and we'll go from there. So the first way we were talking about is the daily roulette. Now, keep in mind with the daily roulette that you have to pay attention to adventurer need, right? So this is why I always recommend leveling up the other classes. So like tanks, DPS, and healer. Is because if you're just set on like grinding one class out, you're gonna realize down the road that like easily doing this you can make roughly 150,000. And the quickest way of doing the roulettes, really, if you're just looking at making money, is doing the leveling. So adventurer need tank. Now healer usually is higher, but I mean it's up to you if you want to wait for healer, right? So adventurer need, you do that. Trials, you can always make GIL in addition with it alongside completing the activity. Main scenario, those take forever. Now main scenario, like if you really want to make money, like go on for like the 200,000 range for a day, yes, but keep in mind that main scenario you can't skip the cutscenes and they kind of take a while, so I don't recommend doing that unless you really have time to set aside and want to do it that way. That's up to you. Yeah, what you call it, the guild heist, I mean, it's an addition, but I don't recommend doing it. Alliance Raid definitely going to rack you in money, and you can easily do it as a DPS because you would need DPS for that. Same with the normal raids, but really, if you're in a time crunch, and this is kind of just set for PvP, like if you're looking for getting PvP gear or whatever, that's up your alley, go that way. And of course, same with level 80, and I haven't unlocked that yet. But my recommendation is if you're just in a time crunch, just do your leveling. You can also do the level up here too. 2 of these usually will help. And then if you just do a trial, the thing with Alliance raids is that you can get stuck doing a long raid, and those can take up like to an hour. So really at the end of the day, if you got time, then I would do leveling, trials, and then main scenario, like the whole shebang, right? But if you're in a pinch of time, really at the end of the day, just do the leveling. Even just do this one, because you'll get more of a bonus in this one. So just do leveling, do your trials, and then after that, if you have time left over, try to do a raid. So that's one way of making GIL. Okay, so the next way of making GIL is crafting, gathering, right? So I mostly make my sales as a gatherer, but I'll kind of show you what I've been doing to make profit. So we'll kind of go into these areas where to farm for them, but really what's been making me money is the Steel Ingots, Alumen, like farming these definitely make a lot of GIL. Steel Ingots, they kind of just take forever to make, but if you make high quality ones, you can sell them for this amount, and they kind of like work for you. And like I said, one day I logged in, I had like a million GIL because these just pay off. Yeah, really my money makers are really the Alumen. Like you can make a lot, and then the Ingots will come in now and then when people want to buy them. So kind of a general history with the market, right? What you want to do in general is go look at the market and go see what's selling. That's kind of like how you're going to make your money. Because typically some items that people are selling, like if I type in a log, for example, some logs that people can go buy from like NPCs and stuff like that, and a lot of these are lower level. And you want to look at the history too, right? So like just this maple log, for example, you can see for the past couple days it hasn't really been selling that hot. So you're like, oh well, I don't want to farm for that. Now if we go look at something like a rosewood log, you can see that it's been selling kind of like within the past couple of days more consistently, right? Same with, let's look at an ebony log. See, like it's kind of, you gotta look at the pattern that is, like it's selling like non-stop. And something like that, like when it is, then you're like, okay, so this, for example, this mahoney log or whatever, right? People can sell it and it gets like 24,000 if you're lucky. But still, like, look at, it's like selling a lot. So stuff like that sells, like, I would definitely go for it, because at the end of the day, you gotta look at like what people are going to be using for their crafting. So basic Alumen or whatever, if you look at that, that's selling constantly. If you just see all those transactions already, so like, okay, if you farm, and look at the prices on it too. Like even, I recommend selling in batches of 99,000. I mean 99, because you can make a lot of money easily that way, and people are just going to buy in bulk, really, right? And if you look at all these that people are selling, like, you know, historically the prices on it aren't bad. You know, 345, stuff like that. So, you know, you see that basic Alumen selling. Black Alumen is kind of used by crafting. All my crafters kind of had in the market right now. And you can see it's already selling too. I already sold one earlier today, right? But basically, you gotta look at your competition too. So you don't want to like shortcut. And what I mean by shortcut is like put up 99 of these and charge them for like 250 like GIL. It's just gonna crash the market. Now, like if you're trying to dominate the market, go ahead. Fine Alumen doesn't really sell as well here, see? So like you gotta look at how these are selling. See, Gear Alumen I've been using, but hasn't been selling too hot lately. And it's just kind of been rise and fall in like how the market's doing. So you always just gotta look at the market, see what's selling, and then try to farm for it. But you'll be safe if you get the Alumen and Black Alumen. That's a good steady like 30,000 coming in. So if you're interested in like where to exactly go for like those basic Alumen, I'll show you in this video. I kind of break it down to the two areas to go look for. If you're interested in like Gear Obsidian or whatever Alumen, I can go to that location as well to show you. Now Steel Ingots and everything, I'll show that as well. The thing is with the Steel Ingots as a crafter, and if you're in time crunch, is that these things, I will say it will take a day. It will take a day if you farm exactly like 1,000 of them, because you got to keep in mind you got to get the ice shards, bomb ash, and iron ore. Iron ore takes 2, ice shards take 2, bomb ash only takes 1. So you got to do the math and everything on that, and it kind of takes a while. But I'll go into the crafting locations and we'll kind of go into that part. Alright, for this part is basically getting basic Alumen. Now basic Alumen, that's just a general low-level crafting item that's used by other crafters and stuff like that. And as a gatherer, you need to be a miner to pick this up. Now if you look at your map, it's going to be in Eastern Thallen. Go look at Thallen, Eastern Thallen, voila. There you go. You want to go to Camp Drybone, and then it's going to be all the way up here. I'll basically go fly over there to show you it. But this is like the bare bones, like as you can see in the market. You gotta look at your server too to see how it's selling, but at my server I'm on Crystal, and that thing sells like every day. I don't really farm it though, because the yield on it, as far as I can see, can go up to like 22,000, so it's just kind of like I'm not doing that. But if you really are in low level as a miner or whatever, you can go find it and go make, click money that way. Now, if you go look at your mineral deposit, click over here, you basically see basic Alumen. So like I said, a bunch of that can rack in probably 22,000 or something, but I personally want to go for higher, big ticket items. So we're gonna go to the Black Shroud now to go look for the the Black Alumen. Now this is South Shroud. You want to go to the quarry mill. When you're at the quarry mill, we're gonna go over here to the spot. From there, it's kind of, I would say, of all the crafting routes I've done, or gathering routes, like, this is the best, just because everything's all right next to each other. And if you're trying to farm like a big amount, the worst thing you want to do is keep wasting time going back and forth, because some of the other locations, like getting rosewood, it takes forever because I gotta go fly from point A to point B like all over the place. As you can see here, if I go farm this, you know, I usually just do a quick gathering because I'm a time crunch. But if you do this, you know, you gather this right here, and it's gonna just pop up right down the road, and it just makes it so much easier because it's all in this cave really. And yeah, and as a tip too, when you're just doing a mass gathering, when they got like a bonus of 2 or whatever, you just want to keep it like, don't use your abilities that like increase your yield, just because it's just gonna go up to 4, and at the end of the day, like, does 1 make a difference compared to when you can use it on the basic one and get 3? Like, that's how I view it. You see it all right here, and they just go back and forth, so it's pretty simple. I recommend, you know, farming Alumen just as a way to make a profit. Lastly too is a Garabanian Alumen. I mean, that kind of sells for a little higher, but looking at the market right now, it's not selling that high. But if you really just are interested, or if it's selling well on your server, Garabania, go to Castrum, Oriens, or whatever. It's going to be located right here at the riverbank, right over here. That one's kind of spread out too, so it's just one of those things. For me personally, if I can find something that sells and it's all like bunched up with each other, it makes things a lot easier. Just because, you know, crafting and gathering, they take time, and you don't want to spend most of your time, you know, going for, like, because it adds up, going from point A to point B and stuff like that. You'd be more efficient, and that's why I like doing the black Alumen, just because it's more efficient in the long run. But you go over here and you go check, and voila, there it is. Now, like I said, this depends on how it was selling really well at the start of the patch. Right now, it's just kind of once or twice a day, someone will pick it up. But yeah, I recommend like just sticking with the black Alumen and the basic Alumen. Those things will always sell. But all right, we're gonna move on talking about iron ingots. That's kind of another way to make money, and go from there. So I forgot to add this in here, and it's kind of important. But another way you can make GIL is through, you know, it goes alongside gathering and stuff, right? But it's basically farming skins off of what you call it, monsters. And the reason why is that for Ishgard Restoration, I'll kind of show it here so you can check it out, is that you can go make money off of getting these skins that people use for like leatherworking and stuff like that. It's yeah, the Adelgoat skins, people want those petite skins. Those 2 skins are gonna go sell well. And why? Because you just farm these over here. Now the thing is, these drops, it depends on the mobs you kill, because sometimes he'll grant like 5, sometimes he'll grant 1, and then sometimes you're just killing them and they don't grant any at all. Roughly it takes like 30 minutes to get a stack of 99. Now, is this an efficient method? As you can see in my sale history earlier, this thing can sell for like 79,000. Now, keep in mind how it sells on your server, because your servers, like I said, the market is always changing. So this used to sell really well at the beginning of the patch. Now I had something in the market. I farmed this like 2 days ago, and it's still kind of sitting on the market. So there's that way to make GIL, just kind of farming these. And usually the route I do is I start off by killing this one, I then kill these, and then I go over here, kill them. As I'm done doing that, as I fly over, I'm gonna go kill these, kill that. And once I'm done killing that, I'm killing these 2. And then lastly, that one's kind of always out there, I kill him, and then I kill these 2. Once I'm done, however, like by the time I reach here, usually this guy will spawn back in, or this guy, and then you just kind of run their same route back. So it's kind of just, that's the way of doing it. These things can sell, but lately I haven't really seen it selling. But that's one way of kind of making GIL, because I guess a lot of people don't know where to pick those up. Another way for skin farming is, of course, if we go to the black shroud, it's kind of getting boar skin or whatever, and that's pretty simple. It's just the problem with this way of farming is that it's just inconsistent. And what I mean by inconsistent is that you're gonna be killing these mobs, and you probably will spend 30 minutes just trying to get a rack of 99. And it's inconsistent because one will drop, and then it will drop 5, then it'll drop 4, and then it'll drop nothing, and then you kill a whole bunch for a while and it drops nothing. Like, it's not really that efficient in my opinion. But killing these wild hogs, these are, for whatever reason, this has been selling as well. The only problem I see with this is just because of the damn drop rate. But you just kill these hogs here. That's my route. I go up here, start here in the back. Sometimes people will run over and do the freaking fade. But you kill these 2, and then from there, kill this hog, kill that hog, and then kill these hogs over here. Once you're done killing those hogs, kill these hogs, kill these hogs. Someone else? I guess he's just doing a quest. Kill these hogs, and then by the time like you should fly to the back, and then they should be respawning and repeat the route. Of course, if you kill them a lot, there's gonna be like a probably 30-second delay, but there's ways of farming the skin. Like, it's kind of efficient. Like, it depends on how it's like selling in the market. Time-wise, I don't recommend doing it for time if you're in time, because it just takes freaking forever, and sometimes they just sit there on the market for 2 to 3 days before they get sold. The yield's high; it's like 80,000 per this one in the Prestige skin, but for whatever reason, I like I said, I don't recommend doing it just because it takes forever. But if you really want to make the big yield, and that's the thing, the big yields. Keep in mind your big yields are gonna take a while, just because like I said, it's gonna wait on the market for 2 to 3 days and they'll sell. If you do the little ones like the Alumens and stuff like that, that will sell guarantee at least a couple times a day, and you get a little flow of GIL coming in. But if you want the big net yield gains, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. And that's the same with the Steel Ingots, which we'll talk about next. Okay, so this is the iron ore method of crafting, gathering that I've done. I think it's, like I said, it's a long-term investment part. It'll pay off. Like I said, I logged in one day, it had 1 million GIL. It sells, it's just the rate at which it sells at, and you just gotta be patient with it too, right? Now, like I said, you can look at the history on the board and be like, oh, this sells great, but it's only 22,000 and people keep buying it. Like, yeah, I mean, it's one way if you want to keep wasting your time doing that, but for me, I like the long term. I do this like once a week and it kind of pays off. But you want to go to Southern Thalin, this is to get your bomb ash, and this is in the Forgotten Springs over here. So we're going to go over to where you go pick it up at. Basically, if you look at the coordinates around the 2020-98, around this area. If you go also look at the wiki thing, I'll link below too in the video. That's also a good place. It tells you kind of exactly where the coordinates are for these. But if you go here, go click bomb ash, and you can just farm. Do your math, because it's going to be 1. But the other 2, like, how many you want to make, multiply by 2. Keep in mind that you're going to sometimes get higher quality items depending on your crafting level. Now when we're done with that, we're going to go look for some what you call iron ore. You want to go to Western Thalin. We're going to go travel over there, because basically it's going to be by the copper mines. So that's where you want to go pick it up, and just to make sure I can validate so you can see it. It's kind of, like I said, this is the hard part of the crafting of it, just because it's 2, right? So for every 1 bomb ash, you're going to need 2 iron ores and 2, I think ice shards, it's called. Yeah, that takes forever to do too. So it's just it's a long-term investment part. That's how I view it, and I do this once a week just because it just takes freaking forever. But also, if you ever need water shards, are here too. So there's that. Keep in mind the high-quality items. Now after that, we're gonna go to La Nakessa, and we're gonna go to Western La Nakessa. You want to go to Alaport. This is where you're gonna go get your ice shards. Now keep in mind, ice shards, what's interesting about ice shards in general compared to like regular crafting stuff or gathering stuff is that they can like multiply by themselves when you're gathering them. And what I mean by that is it says, oh, your chances of picking up this ice shard increased by like 5 or 10, or it gets crazy, but it makes it a lot easier. I usually recommend doing this like the second step of the grind. And you can always use a 12 bounty here. It kind of increases your yield of how much you get of the ice shards. But that's basically it for the Steel Ingots. Crafting wise, there's also a macro you can use as well. Macros, if you go look at your system, go to user macros. Basically, I'll link it down to a video that asks for your attributes and everything. It's a website. You basically, in there, you put in your, you go to your character, put on all the gear that your character needs to do crafting. For me, I got gathering and perception on right now, but if you go switch to a crafter like the leather worker, it's going to tell you your craftsmanship and your control, and then from there you input that in. It'll basically highlight what skills you already got unlocked, because there's a little thing that shows you how to do it, and then from there you calculates the macro needed to go make a high quality item. So it's pretty simple that way. I like doing it that way. But after that, I really do hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like it. I'll make more videos of whatever y'all are looking for, but thanks for stopping by and watching this, and I hope you have a great day.